it's public school. It's a public school, and it teaches psychology and marketing. And the only problem, you know what is the only problem of that school?
No.
It is run by the Vatican.
Yes. I see. So they're probably sucking the energy of the
yes,
pupils.
That is correct. The first day. Oh, and by the way, in a parallel, I was walking two roads. One road wanted to train with the Taoist monk.
Yes.
And the other road was a personal road where I was researching on the Illuminati.
Yes, and let me cover all.
Yes.
So the Taoist monk he pushed you to go into business.
That is correct.
And then on your own you researched the Illuminati problem, but the business route led you into the Vatican run school, which is usually these big systems are all the same. They suck energy of the young people.
That is correct. And you know what is crazy? Because until that moment, I was studying Illuminati, but very superficially. Like,
yes.
I like rap music, so
yes.
I started with Tupac. You know, Tupac mentions Illuminati.
Yes, of course.
And then I used to watch like music industry exposed on YouTube. These kind of very superficial things. But when I went deeper into it, I started studying occultism, Satanism, all these things.
Yes.
And when I will go into the Vatican school, guess what I see? The first day, the first class.
What did you see?
Okay, I was in class. It was a cinematography class. Oh, by the way, in parentheses, the Vatican is the first, created the first school in Italy of psychology. They are masters of psychology and they're masters of filmmaking. And it's crazy, right? Because they should be like church people.
Masters of filmmaking also.
Yes, they teach filmmaking and all music videos, everything. Some people say even pornography comes from Vatican.
Maybe they want to have a monopoly on the teaching of psychology. So they would govern the direction of it.
Yes, that is correct. They have monopoly on psychology in Italy, at least.
Very interesting that the Vatican runs an internet marketing school. That's
right.
That's phenomenally interesting.
That's why I like speaking with you, because you understand these things. And guess what I saw the first day in class? I sit down and a guy sits in front of me. He's 1 year older than me, and he has a tattoo on his neck, behind the neck, of Illuminati pyramids. I shit you not. I joke not.
Yes, maybe that was just the Matrix construct to get you stressed. You know, maybe the Matrix just made that pyramid. So you would freak out. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. But in that period, I wasn't scared anymore of Illuminati. I was just very curious, and a part of me wanted to join Illuminati because I thought I just wanted money, you know? I wanted money. I wanted to join the Illuminati.
For the money, yes.
Yes. And after that, everything was going pretty good. I had pretty good grades after 1 year. I was having good grades. I was starting to become popular in my dorm. It was always run by the Vatican. Like people, I always have friends and things, etc., etc. But then I started going crazy. Completely crazy. I started seeing signs of the end of the world everywhere. And this happens exactly, I remember the date, during the London Olympics. I become very, very paranoid that there is going to be some sort of nuclear bomb. There's going to be some sort of virus. I was going crazy.
Yes.
The London Olympics, I can't remember exactly when they were. I think 2012, 2013.
12. I know because one of my clients got a gold Olympic medal. Yes.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yes.
Well, I was in Korea in 2011. I was 19.
When were you in Korea?
Rebuild the timeline. I'm trying. I can't remember exactly when I was in Korea. I'm trying to. I was 19. That I know. 2011. Okay. Yes, I remember now. I went the summer of 2011. Summer of 2011, I went to Korea.
Yes.
I did 1 year of school in Trieste, and I still. Here's the thing. I still did not start the Vatican school.
Yes.
There were the Olympics, and then the next year I went to the Vatican school. But I was already following this channel on YouTube called The Groxt. Do you know who he is?
What does he do?
Okay, after check his channel out. Basically, he's a conspiracy theorist, and I found him because I was always going deeper in the rabbit hole, studying Illuminati.
Yes.
And the Grox, basically, he looks for symbols, but the problem is that he uses. It's very hard to explain. He uses the Bible to decode his secrets. And so I was already watching his videos, but when I am in the Vatican school, I started becoming crazy, and I started watching his videos every day. I become super religious. I started believing in the end of the world, in Jesus, all these things.
You started believing in Jesus according to the official school politics, or according to, for example, the Essen papers. There are many variants of believing in Jesus.
Yes, that is correct. I was believing in Jesus like the Groxt was teaching us.
I see, according to his teaching, yes.
His teachings, exactly. And his teachings are very crazy. I realized, like today, I was meditating on that, and I realized that the Groxt is another trap, and he's a very powerful trap. He gets very strong warriors, and it's very hard to escape his trap.
Let me. What is his channel? I like powerful traps.
Excellent. I will.
Let me just tell it. No, tell it while you talk. I will check it out.
I will type it to you.
Yes, type it to me. Okay.
This is his his new channel. His old channel was shut down.
By who? By why?
It was shut down by YouTube because for copyright infringement. Of course, he says that it was Illuminati.
Yes.
But
yes.
The thing is that the Grox, he says a lot of truth. Like 90% of what he says is truth. He has so much cheese. But then there is something in there that destroys you, because you stay glued to the computer just looking at his videos. And he says it is the Holy Spirit. And the problem is that then when you go away and you start walking around, you start seeing the same things that he shows you in his videos. It's crazy. And this has gone for like 3 years. For 3 years, I kept seeing everything he was showing in his videos in real life. That is why I'm so good at seeing the codes, because I've been watching his videos. But at the same time, within his videos, there is some trap.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you think that that guy is consciously doing the trap, or maybe he has been overtaken by the Matrix, like many good-meaning truthers?
He has been overtaken by the Matrix. But he does not know this. He is convinced to be in the good.
Yes.
And all his followers are being misled.
Yes, I see.
But his training was very good. He taught me how to see the codes. Later about this.
Okay.
So basically, after the first, I did the first 2 years in Vatican school. But at the end of the second year, I go completely crazy and I start making videos myself. I used to have a YouTube channel. I used to do the same things of the Groks because I would see the symbols everywhere, in films, in cartoons, in real life, in television, news, everywhere. And they were all like matrix glitches, basically.
Yes.
You have to watch this video to understand what I mean by symbols. But a simple example could be, I don't know.
I'm aware of what you mean. I'm very aware. You just continue talking.
Oh, okay. So I go completely crazy. I drop out of school for a second time. I drop out, and I don't even remember. It was like a very, very dark period of my life. Like a lot of things happened there. I think my girlfriend left me. My dog died. My friends thought I was crazy. Like, it was terrible moments of my life. And basically, after a while, I went very, very, very deep. I went very deep in the teachings of the Groks. I had my own YouTube channel. I also had some followers that were my allies in that moment. But they started hating me when I was going away from the Groks. They started seeing me as their enemy.
Yes, that's a big mistake because in these bodies that are not perfect, we cannot have a perfect knowledge. So that's why we must work with each other. We must help each other and not attack when somebody is not perfect.
I agree. Yes. And one of my friends also he went to jail actually because he also went crazy after watching the Groks. He lives in London. I met him on YouTube. And now I lost all contact with him because I think he's in jail because after watching the Groks videos, he attacked his uncle with a knife, and that's crazy. And even I would become very violent sometimes because it would be like Jesus, and then I would have like opposite effects. And after a while, I went always deeper and deeper into the symbolism, and I realized that there was no difference between Jesus and Satan; that they were the same thing, like in my mind. And I started worshiping even the devil, all these things. I thought that it was like Illuminati, and I was going crazy.
Yes.
I was against all my friends. I was against my parents. I just was. I was basically living. I thought that I was receiving signs. I was trying to follow them. I was very confused. In the meanwhile, I was still. I was trying to connect the dots, and I was trying to make money at the same time.
Yes.
And I used this gift. I used my gift to seeing matrix codes to try to see the future. And I realized that Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, would be worth a lot of money. So I bought a lot of Bitcoin with, I sold my PlayStation, I sold my, all my, I used to collect soldiers, I would paint, you know, like fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, these kind of things.
Yes.
I sold everything. I even sold like gold coins that my grandma gave me when I was small, you know, all these things. And I bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, that is good. You took the chance. You must. People hang on to all things, but if you have all things, you have the energy that created them, and you are stuck in one reality. So it's good sometimes to take a chance and get rid of the old things and get new things.
And basically, I threw away all the old things. I bought Bitcoin, and I had about 80 Bitcoin back then. It was a.
Yes.
I had like 80 Bitcoin, and now one Bitcoin now is worth $8,000.
I see. So, but what happened that you lose the Bitcoins?
And now I explain. So I started seeing patterns because by watching the Groks videos, I was very good at seeing signs, symbols, everything, and I was staying all day. Instead of watching his videos, I was watching the stock markets. I was watching stock markets. I was trying to analyze, and thanks to my gifts, I would see patterns that even people who work in the stock market cannot see.
I see.
I started buying low, selling high, and I even doubled my money by doing this. And my plan was to escape from my house because I was living in my grandparents' house that they died. By myself, but my parents were they did not want me to stay in that house. They want me to go away because the house is of my father and my aunts. They want me to go away. So in that moment, I knew that Bitcoin. This was exactly 1 year ago. 1 year ago, this happened. Exactly in this moment, actually, like this time in the evening. My plan was to go to Slovenia because I realized that Bitcoin will have reached like $10,000. Back then it was $1,000, and nobody could have imagined that.
Of course.
Right now we're living that. In a few weeks, Bitcoin might reach $20,000. Right, I have no money, but I know it.
Of course.
So basically, now I tell you, what happens is that I was trying to do horse betting on horses.
Yes.
Because there are some techniques that if you use a stock market, you can apply stock market to sports betting, and you can make a lot of money also there. But the problem is that sports betting is illegal in Italy. So I had to go to London. And I go by myself. I run away from home. I go to London. I had in that moment like about 40,000 euro, even more.
Good.
And what happens is that I don't know. It's very painful to talk about this, but I find another coin. It's called Ethereum. Okay. When I discover Ethereum is worth $34.
Yes.
I never managed to do horse betting because I needed a bank account, and nobody wants to give me a bank account in the UK because I'm not a student. I don't have a job. I don't have a house. I'm living in an Airbnb with many Pakistani people. You know, nobody wants to give me a bank account.
Yes.
So I discover
immigrant. You became an immigrant.
I'm immigrant. So I'm already immigrant because I was born in America. So I'm immigrant in Italy. But I'm joking. I have Italian citizenship. So basically, I see Ethereum, and I immediately understand that Ethereum is going to go very, very high. It's like it's going to be the next Bitcoin in that moment, and nobody is speaking this on YouTube. Nobody knows this. So, and then I discover something that is called leverage. Leverage, basically, if you have $1,000 and you use leverage, you can. It's like if you're playing with $10,000. My
Yes.
broker. This is a kind of technical things. Okay, so my broker he gave me around 5 times leverage. I could use a capital by having a 40,000 euro. I could have 5 times as much money. The problem is that I didn't know how leverage works.
It works both ways.
Exactly. When you use leverage, you have something that is called margin liquidation price, and I said, okay, I'm going to become rich as I'm going to become really rich because I had.
So you did not have the basic forex knowledge because
no, I did not have
the
that.
trading, the currency trading. You did not have that basic knowledge.
I did not have basic forex knowledge. Only thing I had was watching Rock's videos all day long, and then watching stock market all day long for 8-12 hours a day, and becoming one with the patterns, you know.
I see. That's too. That's not enough. That's not enough.
That is not enough. But you know what is crazy? So basically, I have $40,000. I use, I think, like 4 times leverage. So I'm playing with $160,000. And in that moment, Ethereum was 32. But by the time that I buy it, it is at 40. So 160,000 divided by 40 is 4,000. And
Yes.
I know this because I remember that number very correctly. And what happens is that Ethereum does go up, but so to calculate my liquidation price, you do 40,000, which is my initial capital, times 4, which is my margin, 160, divided by 4,000, the number of Ethereum coins, and that gives you exactly 40. This means that if I buy Ethereum, well, it's complicated, but to make a long story short, what happens is that before exploding, Ethereum drops like 10 points, and by like 5 points, I get liquidate everything liquidated. I lose everything in one day, in one night. And but this is not the tragedy, because I'm like, okay, who cares? It's only 40,000 euros. I can do that again. The problem is the real tragedy is that then Ethereum went to 300 from 40. I bought it. It went to like, you can check it out right now. It went like it exploded. I have like now millions of dollars, and then with those $1 million, I wanted to buy Bitcoin because I knew that then Bitcoin is going to explode. And right now, I would be like a millionaire, you know?
I see. So Ethereum went down for some reason, like a hiccup,
Yes.
and then it went up.
A hiccup, correct.
But you lost everything in that hiccup.
Everything in that hiccup, everything.
So you could not play the game later.
I cannot play the game later, that is correct. And I was by myself with all these Pakistani guys, and I only had like, I used Ryanair. When I came back home, I only had like 20 euros in my pocket.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
how were
my
the
parents-
Pakistani guys? Were they good friends?
Oh, they were nice. They were nice.
They're usually they're not like Westerners. They're content.
Yeah,
They are
they're
not
nice people.
in this drive to have millions of bitcoins. They're
They're very nice people. Actually, it's very funny because my roommate was called Money. Yeah. So I come back home and with 20 euro in my pocket, and that's it. And that's it. Now I'm just living with my parents. This summer I used to be a gardener. I did some gardening for old ladies. And that's it.
Warriors and sorcerers. Let me explain to you a very important concept we just heard in talking with this client. So, if you are in a way of self-improvement, if you are trying to raise above your human shell and become something more, become the angel you were before coming to this matrix land, we can say it like that, there is a big obstacle you will definitely face on your road, and it is the obstacle of fearing the secret societies, thinking that if you publicly say, I laugh at the Illuminatis, I laugh at the secret societies, I want them to come get me so I can destroy them. If you cannot do that, it means you have still huge fears, which are actually only an illusion. The power of the secret societies on your life actually does not exist, you know, because there are two levels of the matrix land. First level is the charade level. So that is the secret society level. Basically, the secret societies have invested everything in the symbols, so they put symbols around the cities so they impress people. But there is the real level, that is the matrix virtual reality simulation level. That is where the control is. Of course, there are even lower levels, but you, the listener, do not fall under their dominion. So I'm sure that you lost your impression about the two-party democracy. I'm sure that you will know, we will not tomorrow go and die in an unnecessary war, and so on and so on, you know. So that is not your concern. Everybody listening to this, basically, he reached the level of understanding that secret societies are this Wizard of Oz level above the government, and now you must crush that level, and it is not easy, because during our growing up, everything is implied that secret societies actually run the show, and these average people, they cannot even comprehend that. They can't, but you can, and then you fear them, you respect the secret societies. Well, you must know it is just a Wizard of Oz type of defense for the matrix control system. Your matrix control chief could be called Lucifer, or maybe Set. Set is the matrix controller in my area, so I had to destroy him, or whatever. Actually, not destroy him, but make him eternally suffer, because he has sent a special scarab implant to implant me in the neck. When I realized that, I was not behaving like a typical cuckoo, positive, light person, but instead of singing around and joyfully dancing in my pajamas, I I turned around the implant and implanted it in the middle of Set's face, forever, basically. So that's what I do, and if you like it, you will be my client. If you do not like it, that's also good. There are different realities. Maybe you like dancing and and like sending love to the to the matrix controller that implanted you. So always remember that if you have if you can publicly laugh at the secret societies, and know that maybe one day your laugh will end up on national news, if you can publicly laugh at dark magicians and invite them to attack you so you could get some target practice, so then you are well set. If you can't do that, then contact me, and we will talk. We will usually set up an encrypted channel, where this talk before was done in an encrypted channel, so the matrix system cannot easily see what we are talking. I will delete some of the key things, so this becomes a weapon, and the matrix system cannot attack us back. If you hear some sounds while I'm recording this, it always happens, you know, when you are doing something important, the demons come and try to harass me. I'm concentrated on this talk, so I cannot take care of the demons. But then the little children, they can sense the demons, then they go crazy and do crazy things in the house. So if you hear something in the background, that's what's happening. You will often see in my interviews that children start behaving strange. It is because they can sense the matrix force coming to stop me in the interview, but I will handle that. I will deal with that when I stop this. So to wrap things up, if you still think you cannot go out and publicly laugh at the secret societies and their Wizard of Oz in your area, then contact me, and we will handle that problem very easily.